So I'd just like to start by saying thank you to everyone for hanging around. I know this is one of the last sessions of the day, so we appreciate you hanging around for this. I know everyone wants to get off to Pop World at some point tonight. So before we introduce ourselves, I just want to introduce the topic of today's talk, which is positioning yourself as the go-to PT. So this is a pretty broad subject, and we could have gone off in a lot of different directions, and a lot of what we discussed today has already been covered by our previous speakers. So it's kind of a bit of an amalgamation of everything that we've heard today from the speakers. So as our industry grows, so does the demand for PT, which is fantastic. But then we're also seeing a massive surge of PTs coming into the industry. So that makes it more important than ever to be able to separate yourself from the crowd, differentiate yourself from the competition in order to give yourself an advantage over the other PTs. So essentially what we are discussing today is what makes a PT and the service that they are offering appealing to clients and potential clients, okay? We want this to be an interactive and engaging session. So if you have any questions as we go through, just put your hand up or just shout out, we don't mind, rather than waiting until the end. We do also have some activities and some questions as we go through the slides. So we would love it and encourage you to get involved and make it an interactive session. I'm going to hand you over to Nikki, who's going to introduce herself.
So hi guys, I am Nikki Gray. I'm Regional PT Manager at Your Personal Training. So I look after the recruitment, onboarding, development, support of all our PTs in the network. So I've been in the industry for 15 years. I know I don't look old enough, but I've gone from everything from my self-employed business that I still run now for 15 years, still very successfully, GM, ops, group exercise instructor, teaching spin, body combat many moons ago. My goodness, I look back at that, MMA fighter over there. And also running my own successful sales business with my husband, where we looked after the growth of studios across the network. Over 6 different countries we worked with in building their success. So I know how hard it is, the industry. I know the dedication, determination you need. So I hope you find some use in today's presentation. Over to you, Ollie.
There's literally nothing that Nikki has not done in this industry. So yeah, it's great to have her as part of the team.
Thank you.
So yeah, my name's Ollie Kerr. I'm a Regional Director for Your Personal Training. My background is management, so I graduated in management. I went off working as an activity instructor, predominantly snowboarding and surfing for 10 years, so I worked all over the world. That's, I think, where I developed my love for working with people and coaching and instructing. So when I came back to the UK, there wasn't many opportunities to work as a snowboarding instructor. So I decided to become a PT because I was passionate about fitness, and it kind of ticked a lot of boxes because, again, it allowed me to continue working with people. I went straight in with Your Personal Training, 2016. No regrets looking back because it's led me to where I am now. I became a manager like Nikki back in 2019, just before the onset of COVID. And then since then, I've sort of moved with the company and become a regional director. I now support Nikki and my colleague Ellie, who's on screen there. She's off competing in a bodybuilding competition at the moment. We support with the onboarding, the recruitment, the ongoing support, and we manage the relationships we have with the operators we work with as well. But I'm truly passionate about the industry. I've met some amazing people, many of which are in this room right now. So I'm thankful, and I just want to share that passion with the PTs that we have coming through and launching with us. So onto the 5 pillars. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a broad subject. So myself and Nikki, when we first started planning the content for this presentation, we basically listed off all the key components, personality traits and skill sets that we consider a go-to PT to have. It was a pretty comprehensive and long list at that point. So what we decided to do was separate it into 5 distinct categories, which we called the pillars. And those 5 pillars are communication, unique selling point, empathy and authenticity, consistency and professionalism, and continued professional development. Now, these aren't simply tick boxes, but whilst we don't believe there's such thing as a perfect PT, we do believe that every great PT has an awareness and an understanding of the importance of each of these 5 areas, and they're constantly looking to improve, all the time through experience, through reflection, and through feedback. And as mentors, what we do is work with those individuals to give them access to the resources, the tools, the education needed to really focus, because we know this builds great PTs and it helps us retain PTs, which as a business is what we're all about. Nikki's going to cover the first pillar, which is communication.
So pillar number 1, team. So I've got a little bit of a mantra I just want to read out to you. So before we talk about communication, let's talk a little bit about trust. Now, building trust as a PT is so important. It helps clients feel safe, motivated, and confident in your guidance, okay? Remember one thing. Someone told me this many moons ago. Trust isn't given, it's earned through care, consistency, and honesty. So remember that before you even think about that first initial communication you have with a client. So listen first. We spoke about that a lot today, listening first. That is actually one of our points. Listen first, because great coaching starts with hearing, not talking. Listen to what your client wants first. Inspire with tone. Confident, caring, not commanding. We don't need any drill sergeants straight away in that first initial meetup, okay? Body language matters. Eye contact, like what Keith said earlier, not too creepy, not too long, but that acknowledgement is key, okay? Posture, hold yourself. Energy, all of that equals trust, what we just spoke about. Bring the vibe, I love this one. Always bring the energy, bring the vibes. That's what I'm known for with my clients. Your energy sets a tone. It brings that positive energy to the whole gym environment itself. And I promise you now, your clients will rise and match your energy too, okay? Make it personal. Make your clients feel like they're the only person in the room. When it's really, really busy in the gym, it's peak time, it's the hustle and bustle of it, you want to make sure that interaction you're having with that client for the hour, they feel like they're the only person that matters in that moment, okay? And then connect. I really like this one. Connect, don't just talk. Real trust comes from that real connection that you build with your clients. All right, guys. Thank you. Over to you, Ollie. Thank you. So think about that one client, team. A bit of a task here for you. So think about one client who totally trusts you. Why? Why do they trust you? Is it the way you talk? Is it the way you listen? Or is it the energy that you think you bring? So have a little minute, 60 seconds or so. If you don't mind, I might pick on a couple of you. Thank you. Can't talk to you now.
Yeah, I know. I think I've given you my whole life.
I know, you've got it all now.
You forgot the
I know, I
activity.
said-
Classic.
To be fair, it looked like you were just clicking it though.
No,
That's good.
I was just testing you.
Oh, were you now?
Yeah.
Failed. Okay, you lovely lot. Let's pick on a few people. Anyone fancy sharing first? Thank you.
Yeah, I have an older client who reminds me a lot of my grandfather, and I think we get on. I don't know how to sort of match his humour from how my grandfather was, and yeah, we go play squash together in the week, and he's bored.
Oh, I love that.
At home, it's a nice relation around it outside the sessions. It's also, he knows quite a lot about squash and he's teaching me how to play. So
Oh, that's brilliant.
back and forth, build a bit of trust. It's pretty great.
Amazing, that's excellent.
I play squash, Freddie. We should have a game one day.
You will destroy me.
Yeah.
It needs a bit more time.
It will make me feel good about myself.
What the coach does.
Yeah.
Anyone else, team?
It's basically the same. Oh, sorry. No, you go, man. It's basically the same. I've got basically like these grandparents, basically like. So I go around the house and I'll cut their grass and everything. Just
Love that.
go in for a cup of tea, cup of coffee. It's class.
It's amazing.
It's good to have that like connection with the mic.
Yeah, it's nice to think about it as well, the kind of touch that you have on people's lives as well.
Oh,
It's amazing.
dogs and everything, it's kind
Just may as well move in. Brilliant. And as well?
So I've got a client who was probably known as a bit of a character in the sort of gym space, and I think a lot of people would have generally sort of left her to be her, which is
Yeah.
a little bit eccentric.
Yeah.
So just giving her a bit of the time and a little bit of time just to listen and talk to her. And now, yeah, we were just discussing. She probably followed me into that.
Brilliant. That's amazing, that kind of rapport you've built with someone. That's awesome. Okay, brilliant. Over to you, Ollie. Thanks for sharing, everyone. Thank you.
So JP mentioned this earlier during the panel talk. So as a company, we recognise the importance of communication, And it's definitely an area where a lot of PTs, especially new PTs that are new to the industry, they lack that confidence, but it's vital, especially when you're self-employed and you need to go and make that initial approach. So we're always looking for new ways to improve the resources and education we have available. One of our brand new courses is with Ben Shepherd. You probably didn't expect to see him on our slide deck today. You may recognize him from the likes of This Morning and Tipping Point. But he's not a PT, as you know, he's a presenter, but he excels in his communication and his ability to build relationships with people that he talks to. So there's no better person to be delivering a course on the key components of communication to support our PTs. The feedback we're getting, this is exclusive for our PTs, and the feedback we've had so far has been amazing. And as mentors, again, we can literally see the confidence grow as they progress through the modules. So I think it's just a great addition to the toolbox that we have available for our PTs. So on to pillar number 2, which is to establish your USP, otherwise known as unique selling point. Before we start this, I feel the importance of establishing a USP and a niche is more important where there's more competition. So if you're a PT in the middle of nowhere, no other PTs for a 100-mile radius like JP in the Lake District, I know you're there as well, Sam, it becomes less important. Whereas if you're a PT in a gym in central London with 20 other PTs, it's obviously way more important to then differentiate yourself from the competition and establish a USP in order to attract potential clients and stand out from the other guys at the gym. When we launch PTs, we don't expect them to know their USP, but we work with them in order to do so. One great starting point is just asking them the question, who are you, what's your story, where have you come from, what are you passionate about, and why did you become a PT in the first place? You know, they may have had a struggle with weight loss, they may have struggled maintaining their fitness throughout their pregnancy, or they may just be passionate about endurance events and they want to share that passion with other people. So I think that is a great way of doing it. If you're still unsure after asking those questions, we say to PTs, just get in the gym, spend as much time as possible there, train as many people as possible from all different backgrounds, demographics, different goals and objectives, and it won't be long before you start to really focus in on what it is you're comfortable doing, who it is you're comfortable training. And when you love what you do, it makes your life so much easier because you love every moment of being in the gym. Be relevant and relatable. So if you're marketing yourself as a marathon expert and you've never crossed the finish line, are you going to be as relatable as somebody that's completed 30 marathons? Probably not, right? Another example is if you're a 20-year-old guy and you're marketing yourself as a pre- and postnatal specialist. I'm not saying you can't be a great pre- and postnatal specialist if you're a guy, but are you going to be as relatable as a middle-aged woman that has 3 kids and has been through those same challenges and has experienced the same thing as the clients she's working with? Probably not, right? And that's what we mean by being relevant and relatable. Your USP can be who you are rather than what you know. So it doesn't have to be a technical area of expertise. It can simply be your personality and the energy you put out there when you're training your clients. That's what attracts people. It's what you become known for, and that quickly becomes your USP. It can simply be community, and we've talked a lot about that during the previous sessions, especially with Andy on the panel. If I was to move to Swansea, which is appealing, it's a beautiful place, I would want to be the first person on Andy's waiting list. I'm sure he's got a waiting list because he's a super successful PT, because he gives more than just a PT session. He offers a sense of community, and it's the complete wellness package. And that's what people want more and more nowadays is, you know, the friendship, the brotherhood. He described it as a club earlier, which is a great way of putting it. So it's the mental as well as the physical, which is so important. Or it could simply be training location. So if you're a PT and you're based in Canary Wharf and you go to people's offices and you train them during their lunch breaks, in that instance, you know, convenience becomes your USP. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. Again, it's not always about what you're teaching as such. It can be who you are, the community, and where you're PTing. Focus on delivering one thing exceptionally well. Classic saying there, don't be a jack of all trades and master of none, is completely true. When we launch new PTs, we ask them to submit their profile information as part of their profile setup. And that includes a list of specialities. And very often, PTs basically just provide every single module that they've just studied on their level 3 diploma. And in that case, we dig a little bit deeper and we encourage them to ask the questions that we've just covered to really hone in on one or two particular areas. I always use the analogy of a pizza restaurant. If you're in town, you're looking for a good pizza, are you going to go to a buffet-style restaurant that serves, curry, noodles, burgers, pizza, sushi, any others? Roast dinners, full English breakfast, the list goes on. Yeah, no, it does sound good, actually. Or are you going to find an authentic little Italian pizzeria where the chefs are covered in flour, they're hand stretching the dough, they're putting on rich homemade tomato sauce, creamy mozzarella, maybe even a little bit of basil on top? You're going to go there, right? And I can guarantee, even without tasting it, that pizza is going to taste better than the one from the buffet restaurant. And that's because those people have mastered the craft. They love it. They're passionate about it. And that's what they do. And that's what we mean when it comes to defining USP. Can you make a living from your chosen USP and target demographic? It's an important consideration. If you're a PT based in a gym in Eastbourne, otherwise known, no offense to anyone that's from Eastbourne, as God's waiting room, are you going to be able to build a client base if your specialty and USP is sport, injury, rehab? You can, but it may take you longer than if your USP was training elderly clients with mobility concerns, right? I know that niche isn't quite as sexy, but it's going to give you access to a bigger potential market and bigger potential client base. And if your dream is to specialize in sports injury rehab and you're based in Eastbourne, I'm not saying don't do it, but you may need to look at other avenues in order to promote yourself, whether that be online, socials, or you could just move to London or like a university town where you're going to get more exposure to more potential clients. And then finally, once you define your USP, own it, believe in yourself. It's so important. Imposter syndrome is a real thing in this industry, and being a PT with it is probably one of the worst professions you can have it in, because people look to you for confidence because that's what they aspire to and that's what they want. You've got to remember that you've spent hundreds of hours studying and becoming an expert in what it is you're offering. So walk with confidence, hold your head high, and people will be attracted by that. So it's so important, and it's worth mentioning. A little activity for you guys. So this is quite a nice way to establish USP, and I know a lot of you guys have probably been PTing for a while, but it's always good to sort of check in. And Nikki said earlier, we were having a chat, like you can always change your USP. Like if you've been a PT doing one thing for a few years and you're like, I'm getting a bit bored, I want to do something else, you can always do that. So how would you describe yourself in 3 words? I'm going to come around the room in 30 seconds. If you're unsure or if you're not confident enough to describe yourself, then think about how your clients would describe you in 3 words. Go for it. Coops, I'll be picking on you.
Just smashing it. How we do with time?
Good time, yeah. If I draw out some sections and we're finishing at 4:30, so it's 5 past now.
I'll try and draw it out a bit more then.
Yeah, we've got loads of
We've
slides.
done 20 minutes already though, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. And we're only on like the 3rd pillar, so that's
Pillar,
about right.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're smashing it.
Yeah, you are. You're delivering it so well.
I stumbled at the start, I was like, I don't know.
Not at all. I didn't even notice it.
Oh, really?
No, I couldn't get words out, but no one notices.
That's true.
Okay, guys. Just concerned of time. Is anyone willing to share their 3 words? It's like, what 3 words, the app? Anyone? No? Go for it. Obviously, I thought you nodded your head, mate. Yeah, go for it, mate, yeah.
It was funny. This was a client gave me this 2 weeks ago. And they said, do you want to know why we work with you? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to say cheap, but that wasn't the case.
They must have known you were going to get this question. Just helping you out.
Caring, knowledgeable, energetic.
Yeah, I think that sums you up pretty nicely, mate. Seeing as I've known you for quite a few years now and I know the sort of person you are, and I think that a client's got it bang on there. Anyone else?
I started off with developer of people, and then this man here here helped me reframe that to the maketh man.
Oh, love it.
That's sexy, that.
So good.
Get that on your business cards.
Yeah.
Any pub quiz requests anytime.
Yeah.
There's this one.
Yeah, can anyone improve on that? Probably not, right? So we'll move on in that case. Nikki?
So pillar number 3, having empathy and authenticity. So guys, people buy into people before they buy the product. Just remember that, okay, for this one. So always dig deeper. Keith spoke about it earlier, asking that why, all right? Care beyond reps. Coach the person, not just their performance. I'm really big on that, okay? Be real, I quote, drop the perfect PT mode and be relatable, be you. Clients will pick up if you're being authentic, if you're being your true self, all right? People will know. Celebrate everything. So showing up counts as much as a PB. So for myself, I had a client yesterday who was just not in the mood. They turned up, had a lot going on, didn't fancy lifting weights that day, sort of sat down, feeling quite emotional before their session. I said, right, look, let's just pivot. Let's just go do some holistic stretching, mobility work. They left feeling so much better. I got a lovely message, like Keith did, sort of just saying how they really appreciated my time, patience, and empathy towards how they were feeling. So just bear that in mind. You can always pivot your sessions to suit your clients' needs. Make them feel seen. Valued clients stay. Make it the best hour of their day. I always try and remember that. It's the best hour of that person's day. They might have a really busy life. When they come and see you for that hour, make it the best. And then they don't just stay for workouts, they stay for you. So we're talking about retention earlier. I've had clients for 8-9 years I just can't get rid of. I'm like, right, get out of here. I've worked with you too long now. But they stay for me. And again, it goes down to, you know, Andy earlier, Keith, just it's all about community, guys, and what you build with your clients. Very important. But it always comes down to being empathetic, listening to people, understanding people, but also being your authentic, true self as well. All right, over to you, Ollie.
Lovely jubbly.
Nice picture there of Ara.
Yeah, I was going to say, there he is. The man himself.
On another slide.
Freddie. He looks very serious. Yeah.
He looks very empathetic.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So pillar number 4 is consistency and professionalism. Said it right that time. So this is probably not the most exciting of the 5 pillars, but I think it's definitely one of the most important, especially when it comes to building long-term success and retention of clients. So yeah, a few points here. So show up with the same energy every day. So Nikki's already touched on this with the communication and the importance of communication and body language. You need to just make sure you keep it consistent. If you've got a long day of sessions, you need to make sure you're giving your last client of the day the same amount of energy and motivation as the first client. Even if by that time you're hungry, you're tired, you want to get home to watch Married at First Sight, whatever it is, you've got to make sure it is great, isn't it? It's a great series. Yeah, make sure you're consistent with that energy because your client deserves it. You know, they're paying a lot of money for the service and they expect a certain level of that communication. Be punctual, prepared, and present. So the very least your clients deserve is for you to show up on time. I think in my 8 years working as a self-employed PT, I was only ever late maybe twice, and I had a very good reason for that, even though I can't remember what that reason was. But yeah, it shows that you're professional, and again, it's important. Being prepared, that goes without saying. You know, you don't want to wing it one session to the next. Make sure you have a plan in place. Make sure you have a program. Make sure you have your notes from the previous session, because it shows that client that you've spent time thinking about them before they turn up for the session. And it also encourages progress and results, which other people will notice and therefore be attracted by. And then be present. Again, Nikki's touched on it, but be there in the moment. Don't stare at the ceiling, twiddling your thumbs on your phone between sets. And I know a lot of PTs use their phone nowadays for tracking whilst they're training clients. And your client may know what you're doing, but think about how other people in the gym perceive you. Because if I see someone on the phone, straight away I just presume they're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is the young'uns use nowadays. So yeah, maybe use like an iPad, even that looks more professional, or a notebook, old school. Look, dress, and smell the part. Really important. The way you present yourself goes beyond communication. You can be the best PT in the world, but if you look like shit, people aren't going to have the confidence to approach you in the first place. So you need to make sure you're representing yourself in a professional way. An example, I joined a new gym fairly recently because I relocated to Portsmouth. I always look at the PTs because that's kind of what I do. That's my profession. One PT looked great, had good energy, he was delivering great sessions. You look good, right? So it was like he was ticking a lot of boxes. Next day, he turns up in a dry robe, and this is no joke, starts delivering sessions in a dry robe. And before he said, I wasn't looking in the mirror. But he instantly lost my respect, and to me now he's just a twat. And if I think he's a twat, then other people in the gym are going to think the same thing, right? So when you put on the PT badge, have some respect for that. You know, it's not just yourself you're representing the profession and the industry. So yeah, take off the dry robe as long as you've got something underneath. So, you know, we do what we can to help our PTs look good. Like, we provide Castor shirts. As you can see, we look good. Some better than others. But, you know, we physically stop short of showering our PTs every morning. So we have faith that our PTs are going to do the right thing and, you know, have some, you know, basic presentation when it comes to that. Have your systems in place. So again, you can be a great PT, but if your sort of back end is out of place, it's going to all fall apart. So make sure you have your scheduling, your payments, communications, progress tracking all in place, because then your clients will feel it builds trust, and it also allows them to see you as more than just a PT. You'll be seen as a professional, which is very important. Lead by example, practice what you preach. When you're a PT, you very much are the product, and therefore you should represent everything that your clients and potential clients aspire to be, both mentally and physically, okay? So if you're preaching a good diet alongside a training program, don't come in before a session eating a Greggs sausage roll. Not a good look. Or if you're preaching, you know, low alcohol intake and good sleep, don't come in stinking of booze after a 3-day bender. Because, you know, you need to live the lifestyle that you're selling, and that will build credibility big time. And then finally, small consistent actions and habits build a strong reputation over time. There's a great book I always bang on about called Atomic Habits by an author called James Clear. And he basically says that winners and losers can easily have the same goal, but it's the winners that put the small actions in place and stay consistent with those habits and processes and systems that hit their targets and hit their goals. So that's key, to have a plan in place, which we encourage, and to stay consistent with it. Another little question. Identify one small habit, leading on from the last point there, that you could improve to increase your professionalism. I'll give you 30 seconds. It's quite an easy one, that. It's literally one word.
Can pick on Coops for this one.
15 minutes.
Is that good?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah?
We've got questions at the end as well.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Sorry. I'm so proud of you. The makes you wear something under the dry robe.
It's a dry robe, yeah. Should have brought one in.
Tickle me that, dude.
Okay, guys. Is anybody willing to share? Put your hands up if you are. Freddie.
More Castor uniform.
Hey.
We'll see what we can do.
Yes.
I'll see what you're doing there. Anyone else? Yes, mate.
Follow-up messages.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Following up, I'm going to see a client and they're, I'm twitching my leg or twitching my back. Okay, I'll message you throughout the week and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I won't follow up, so I know I'm seeing them next week anyway, but it's that in-between part.
Yeah.
I need to be on it.
That means a lot to people as well, because it shows that you care outside of the gym. Like Andy, like he genuinely cares about his clients outside of the gym, and just having like little touch points like that is what builds respect and retention of clients. Andy.
I was going to say, I said to Keith, I said obviously I'm a very excitable character, love the industry and for so long, still get butterflies going to work today, but I'm learning to listen a bit more. I'm so excited sometimes I'm going with it. I think my clients enjoy that aspect, but sometimes I'm conscious of just learned, I picked up from Keith, you know, just learn to just listen better a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
Even after 26 years, I know my clients engage in the energy, but you know, sometimes you can always learn a bit more, can't you?
Yeah, no, it's good to sort of be honest with yourself, but I've never got that from you, mate. You always seem to listen to me pretty well, so yeah. Anyone else? No? Great, let's move on to the final pillar, which, we've got a little treat for you here, a little freebie. If you scan that QR code, you guys get access to our advanced business course, which we give access to all of their PTs upon launch. This kind of covers absolutely everything we've discussed today and way loads more. It's a really extensive course. It covers everything from communication, lead generation, sales, client retention. Yeah, it's a great course. And again, we want to equip our PTs with all the tools, all the skills that they need to find success. And alongside the mentoring we give, having access to these sort of resources and courses is fantastic. And yeah, it absolutely builds confidence. Has everyone got the QR code before I go on? Nice one. Nikki?
Okay, the fifth and final pillar, guys. So just sort of saying what Ollie was saying about the Instructors at Icon and Advanced Business Course. I actually completed them both myself recently. And even after 15 years as a PT, there's so much I took out of it. I'm actually now implementing with my clients again that I kind of maybe got a bit slack with. Like what Keith was saying, the price presentation cards earlier, I've started implementing that again. And the response I'm getting is so well received. So there's so much you can still learn. So just give them both a try if you can, guys. Prioritising CPD, however, development, all right? Future career prospects in the industry, always staying curious, staying sharp. Your growth will drive your business. There's so much to learn in the industry. I've still not stopped learning. And that's what it is. The best PTs never stop being students. I recently completed like a falls prevention course myself. I've got some older clients. I won't say older, they wouldn't like me calling them that, but I've got some older clients recently and I just didn't feel like I had the education where a few of them had a few falls recently. So I've done a qualification and I learned so much and I can go back to my clients now and say what I've learned. And that builds a confidence in me from them as well. Invest in yourself. Every course, every bit of feedback makes you better. Workshops, attend absolutely everything. What Keith had earlier was feedback from his clients. Ask your clients how they're getting on, how they feel. Feedback's everything going forwards. Stay ahead. There's so much on Instagram. There's so much on, like what Ollie was saying earlier in the presentation earlier on this afternoon about, Tracy doing shakes and all that kind of stuff. It's so difficult because there's so much out there, but you guys know your stuff, okay? So keep learning, embrace new research, fresh methods, and that will evolve with your clients as you go. Build credibility. The more you grow, the more your clients will trust you as a PT, as their trainer, as their friend. Master your craft as well, team. So every skill counts. Be the PT that clients can't seem to forget. All right, really important. So just invest in yourself going forward, guys, always.
Nice. On that, falls prevention is quite a good USP to have if you are based in Eastbourne.
I'm not moving to Eastbourne.
Yeah. And so, yeah, finally, guys, so just a wrap-up summary of what we've discussed today. So we discussed the 5 pillars, and I think nowadays we work with hundreds of PTs on a daily basis, and being the go-to PT nowadays isn't about being the loudest PT in the gym. It's not about being the PT with the biggest biceps, although that can help. It's about being the one that is able to communicate and connect and listen to what people actually want. It's about defining the difference, so establishing your USP and working out what it is that you're passionate about and what it is that you want to be providing the clients in your gym. It's about leading with authenticity, so being real, relatable, and having lived it and lived those same experiences, face the same challenges that your clients are facing, and that makes you way more relatable to potential clients as well. Stay consistent always, so the PTs that are reliable, they're on time, they're prepared for the sessions, and they maintain those professional high standards always. And then finally, it's the PTs that keep learning and keep up with their continued professional development, keep up with industry trends, and just have an open mind. Taking on board all of the things we've learned today about wellness and all those different areas, and PTs that move with the times are the PTs that find long-term success in this industry. And I'll leave you with Nikki for the cheesy finish.
So team, the go-to PT doesn't chase clients, clients chase them. Remember that. All right. Thanks very much for listening, everyone.
Nice
Any
one, guys.
questions?
We've got 5 minutes, so has anyone got any questions they would like to ask?
I'm on a course right now actually, and they talk about empathy for clients, and I think it's obviously a big thing where you have to try and relate to clients and like sort of understand where they're coming from. There is a fine line between empathy as well as like almost just letting them slip away from their goals. How would you be able to differentiate that?
It's a really good question. I think always go back to that consultation process that you initially have at the start, revisit what they initially wanted to achieve with you. Everyone's goals will change as they go. I think once you build that relationship with your client, and that can take time to build that trust, I think it's just an open floor, it's an open space. And you can be as relatable as you like, but unless you've got that rapport with that person, then they will potentially step away. So it's the relationship you build. It's like, sorry, what was your name you said earlier? What was your name? Adam. I love what you said about like checking in with your client, like actually thinking about going forward, checking in with them. If if your client turns up not in a great headspace, I always within the next sort of 5-10 minutes after their session say, here if you need anything, looking forward to next session, reach out if you need me. So it's always that engagement. I really like what you said, sort of with that, Adam. I thought it was really cool. It's exactly what I do myself. So just that interaction is so crucial. Definitely.
Yeah. The client you're referring to, out of interest, what is their goal? Why do they use you as a PT?
It's for fat loss.
For fat loss.
Yeah.
And are they not seeing results? Is that why you're wondering what to see?
No. We've kind of just talked over about like the importance of
Right.
nutrition tracking as well, and obviously they're kind of getting to the stage now where because it's coming into Christmas and stuff, I've already talked to them about events are coming up, so they're more likely to have blockages in the way
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting to their goals. So it's about sort of like trying to be there for them, but also trying to keep them on the path
Yeah.
of like, I don't know, sometimes you feel like if they're focusing on too many things, they just don't focus
Yeah.
on nothing. So one thing that I'm thinking about now is just trying to make them focus on their training aspects and just giving them an opportunity for them to go on their nutrition, and we can just keep on top of like their body measurements, their actual composition.
That check-in process then would work really well then, wouldn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think over this time period, clients will naturally want to slack a wee bit more. They've got more events coming up. They've got outings that they're going to enjoy and do. Who would I be to tell them to stop doing that? But it's just trying to focus on.
Yeah.
They've still got a vision ahead that they still want to hit. So just trying to keep them on that.
Yeah. It's obvious you care about your clients from what you've just said there, and there's only so much we can do. Like we can point them in the right direction, we can give them advice, but we can't do it for them. So we can't win them all, mate. Yeah, but keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you can get them around. Yeah.
You can always send like educational resources as well, like alternatives they can have over Christmas and kind of mindset over Christmas, and try and give them lots more educational stuff over that period as well. So you're kind of doing your job then, and that's all you can pretty much do. So yeah, that check-in process will be important.
I think sometimes as well is people don't give money away easy these days. If they're willing to come to you and then perhaps not hit the goals they started off with, you're doing something right. There's no question about that. And I think traditionally sometimes PTs can push people away too early because they're not getting there. So I have clients for probably 25 years who nowhere near the goals they set out, but they come with me 3 times a week. They won't throw their money away. So they're probably ticking lots of the boxes. Just maybe some of them things that fine detail perhaps, but that would be more to do with them, and they'll know that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with you, Andy, they're getting more than just the PT, aren't they? They're getting, like you're saying,
do some community stuff. Some of that stuff will get washed away then, as well.
Exactly.
So you got to take a lot of pressure off yourself,
If they do leave, I'll take their spot, mate, on your books. Anyone else? It's quite a commute though for a PT session, isn't it?
Yeah.
From Portsmouth. But yes, mate.
Relating to the continuing to learn and developing stuff, how do you focus on communicating that knowledge in such a way some clients when they're starting out, like you want to position yourself as like having all this knowledge that to get them to buy in and let you know that you know what you're doing, but you also don't want to overload them because they're at the stage right now where they don't even know about the concept of like training close to failure.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah, you want to like sort of just give them the information when it's relevant. I sort of compare it with when we launch a new PT. We have so much stuff. We don't want to sort of throw all that at them from day one because they're like, what do I do? We prioritize what we give them. So we have a 3-stage launch process. And it's very much the same when you're training a client. You want to sort of give them what's relevant at that moment in time.
Also, you're constantly adding value as well as you go. So you're like, right, you've done that stage now, let's move on to the next stage, just adding value throughout their process.
So, should I signpost the fact that there's more to learn here?
100%, absolutely. Yeah.
Speak to your boss. He'll give you good advice.
I do very frequently.
Yeah.
He always taps into our knowledge, don't you?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, good question.
It's a very
mate.
good question.
Nice. Thanks very much, guys.
Anything else, guys?
Appreciate the time.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
That's one.